Well, there's certainly no way of underplaying this one. We're back for the final 2 games of the season with Dorking Wanderers, and today, after our long season expectations of consolidating in the National League, we're going for a chance at the title and back-to-back promotions to the Football League. Welcome along to another episode of this FM21 club story, A Wandering Dork with me, Daniel. It's Season 2, Episode 7, and today we're going for the title. Yes, hello and thank you for joining me again for what is one of the biggest episodes of the series so far, quite possibly the biggest FM20 episode on the channel this season, certainly the most important, and probably one of the most unexpected too, as we've got a chance to wrap up the National League title. As you can see, just 2 points separate us and Chesterfield, with 2 games left in the league season. Leyton Orient were close by until recently, but you can see at the top right we managed to beat them about 10 days ago. We're also unfortunately doing it without one player, Albert Adoma, a superstar for us since he's joined the club this year, out for 4 or 5 months now though, and unfortunately he's played his last game for the club as a result. But as we're here on the home screen, a massive thank you to everyone that continues to follow the series. I really do greatly appreciate it. It's one of the only things left to play for this season. There's 3 sides down there competing for the last relegation place, but aside from that, all the actions at the top, us and Chesterfield chasing the title. I'm hoping we can win at home to Barnet and wrap it up, but of course that would be far too easy, and since the last episode both sides have tried to avoid it, so we've no idea what's going to happen today. If you are enjoying the series and looking forward to this title decider, please do put a thumbs up on the video, and if you're new to the channel and enjoying FM20, then subscribe for daily content from 2 long-term stories. The head coach will be back tomorrow for I think the start of season 2 if I've got my maths right. A massive thank you to everyone that supported the first season in that one. It really has blown me away, the support for it. I'm recording these a bit in advance, so if my maths is off you'll have to forgive me, but today I'm too focused on Dorking and just trying to keep ourselves in a little bit of form. So let's go and have a look at the schedule to see what's been happening since the last episode. Just a few games off camera of course. You were with me last time as we drew away at Ebbsfleet and then had that shocking defeat away at Maidenhead, and then we followed it up with another defeat at home to Eastleigh. Cameron Archer with a brace, but it just wasn't enough. 3-0 down after 47 minutes. We left ourselves too much of a mountain to climb. But a 5-2 win at home to Leyton Orient after that. 2 goals in stoppage time from us and 1 for them as well. Owen James with his first for the club since joining in the last episode, and Archer and Whittaker with a brace as well. Fabio Lopez rocked up with 1-2, so goals still coming relatively easily, although it was a goalless draw away at Swindon last time out, but a pretty decent result against a very big side. So let's go and have a look at the dynamics, see how the lads are getting on. The dressing room atmosphere is good, but it's not quite up to its usual standard. I don't know if that's nerves, we've got a very young side, and of course there will be a bit of tension in the club. But it's all going really well, and this could be a remarkable achievement, but don't forget, even if we do end up finishing second, we've still overachieved greatly on our expectations. The finances are okay for this stage of the year, though going up would solve the problems for good, and we've got loads of players who are wanted by other clubs, particularly Whittaker, our superstar striker. So we've got a few signed up for next year. In fact, nearly all of the squad have done so now. Just Georgie and Gallagher that are yet to sign deals, though Gallagher we need to get to sign because he's so crucial off the pitch in that mentoring group. The only quick bit of news before we get into the 2 games is we've had our youth intake since the last episode, and unfortunately again it's an absolutely woeful one. So these are the candidates that haven't made it. A few of them have been signed onto the club, but there's only one that's really worth talking about in truth, and that man is Lucas McCarthy. He's a right-sided centre-half, 1-star ability, 2.5 potential, but again that's not particularly great at this standard, so I doubt he's going to be able to make it for us. As well as not quite being up to scratch, he's also got low determination, so a bit difficult for us to try and develop him, but at least it's a slight upgrade on last year, and if we do get to the professional leagues at the end of this season, it'll be the first thing we work on off the pitch. I'm a bit alarmed there seeing Amadi's progress, obviously out on loan in the National League South this year. He has absolutely dived in terms of his development, so he's certainly not going to make it next year, but that's not what we're going to worry about for now. We'll of course be back in the next episode in 2 days time, as we'll have our end of season review episode, and we'll talk about a couple of things off the pitch there, but today the focus is entirely on it. It's a massive game for us today. We're playing 4th place Barnet, who are chasing the top 3. They want to get themselves through to the playoff semi-final, and and Chesterfield are home to mid-table Kettering. All of the sides they face have got nothing to play for. So let's go and have a look and see if our semi-pro side can do it, as we're very slight favourites with the bookies, but missing one of our most experienced players isn't going to help. And I do worry that we're starting to lose form at the wrong time. But let's have a look at the lineup we've gone for. Obviously Albert Adoma coming out of the squad, but the 11 in full is Ramsbottom in goal, Vaughan and Zamura the fullbacks. Ethan Vaughan's very much first choice on the right again now. He's been in excellent form and developing really quickly. Lomas and Humphreys at centre half, Honda, Mark and Smith in the middle, and then James and Lopez on the two wings, with Presley joined by Whittaker up front. We have had little tinkers in recent games, Presley coming out of the side for a few occasions, but Archer didn't do much on the last one, so we're just going to go back to our first choice 11. Let's get into the game and see if we can do something special. It's going to be a very nervy moment, and both sides have been trying their best to throw it away, so let's hope we can change that in this game today. Well, a 4-3-3 for Barnet, and some really good recognisable names in their side. They've got Cooleyhurst up front, he used to play for Peterborough in League One. Clayton on the right, is that the one that came through at Crewe? He was a really hot prospect at one point. I think when he went to Bolton he had quite a lot of injury problems, and unfortunately you can see his physical stats were awful there, despite only being 27 years of age. They've got Rowe on the left wing, he's a decent player, got plenty of goals and assists for them this year, and then at left back Elliot Johnson's been there for years. Callum Reynolds used to play for my club Luton Town, and Scott Loach in goal, he was an England under-21 international back in the days when he came through at Watford, so a really high reputation goalkeeper, and he's certainly going to be a difficult one for us today. But Meadowbank's got a pretty big attendance. Against Leyton Orient we got over 2,000 for the first time, and today we're going to tell the lads to go and prove a point, just as our new assistant manager recommends. A couple of minutes gone, no highlights yet, but let's keep an eye on that Chesterfield score at the bottom. I'm afraid it's all going wrong already. 20 minutes gone, nothing's happened here, but Chesterfield are playing against 10 men now. A 10th minute red card for Kettering, in fact I think it might have been the 12th minute, and now Barnet are coming on a counter against us. This could be an absolute double whammy. Is Cooleyhurst down the right hand side? We talked about how good he is. He's run the length of the pitch and shot, but thankfully it's just gone wide of the post. We're going to go to a positive mentality. Few of the lads are apprehensive, so we're going to demand a bit more. Just try and take their focus off it. Oh, you're joking, that has not happened. Coolhurst runs in, thankfully it's come off the post. Oh no, they're still going to score, are they? It's cleared away eventually. The throw-in from Zamura over Humphrey's head, it put them in one-on-one, but thankfully they missed. 10 to the break, we look really uncomfortable here, and Chesterfield are one up in the other game, so as it stands we've lost our place at the top. Well, it's half time and Barnet have arguably just shaded that half. We've not seen one attacking highlight for our side. Chesterfield are a foregone conclusion to win here, so we're going to aggressively tell the lads we're not happy. We need to fire them up, we need something out of it, and we just need to nick a 1-0 in the scrappiest way possible. It's Coolthurst on the left-hand side though, into the box from Johnson, Zamura heads away, and can we build ourselves a counter-attack here? Long ball forward to Whittaker. Oh, what a touch, he skimmed one, and he's in on the edge. Brilliant save by Loach. We talked about what a high reputation keeper he was, and he certainly came to Barnet's rescue there. Whittaker scored so many this year, couldn't put that one away though. The Lomas has a free header from the corner, and he's straight into the arms of the keeper again. A much stronger start to the second half, but it still remains 0-0, and with Chesterfield winning in the other game, it's going to be out of our hands on the final day. Well, 25 minutes less, Chesterfield have doubled their lead, so we're going to have to go all out here. Giorgi's coming on for Lopez, he's looking apprehensive. I just want to get as many of the nervous boys off. Lomas the same, so Harbottle on for him. Humphreys will switch to right centre half. And then what else can we do? We've got Gallagher and Whelan. I think Gallagher's a good shout for this game. He's got the perfect personality for it, although Whelan scored some screamers off the bench before, and his personality's pretty resolute too, so he might be the perfect replacement. The last thing we want is a red card, so we're going to take off Honda Mark, and let's get back into it with 20 left, and I hope the lads can produce something special. We're actually going to go very attacking in a minute, as we can't afford to draw this game. We have to be top on the last day of the season, or I think it's our title race over. We've encouraged the lads, but it's made no difference to their personality. Their body language hasn't changed at all, and we're going into stoppage time. There's nothing happening at all, so let's just go to our team instructions, and we'll try and go a little bit more direct. We're pressing all the wrong buttons, the nerves are getting to everyone, so let's go for a slightly more direct style of passing into space behind the two strikers, and we're also going to let the lads be more expressive. If they want to push forward, then let them. We're going to push up the pitch as well. We want to get as far forward as possible, and let's get back into this game and see if we can nick a winner from somewhere. I think it's going to be uneventful, though we have got a throw in on the right. Vaughan to Whelan and now Presley. In by Vaughan, Whittaker's there. Oh, just falls down and cleared away. It was a half chance, but we almost got there, and now Barnet have got a chance on the break. It'd be even worse if we conceded a defeat, but unfortunately it's a risk we're willing to take. As Taylor comes forward on the right hand side, Humphreys does well to head away. It's Georgie forward, we've got a 3-on-3, two men running off him, one of them's Presley. He's going alone though, he's into the box. Great save, Scott Loach. It's tipped behind for a corner kick, and I think that was the last chance of the match. Just 15 seconds to go as Ramsbottom hoofs it forward. It does fall for Georgie on the right hand side, but I think it's a little bit too late. He's in towards Presley, he's in 1-on-1. Oh, he's saved by the keeper. Whittaker just misses the rebound. We've had so many good chances in stoppage time, but it is a 0-0 draw. We failed to score again, and the title race is out of our hands in going into the last day of the season. A disappointing result and performance. We didn't really come to life till the last 10, and with Chesterfield being gifted the win by Kettering, the side who we manage in the head coach not helping us out at all there. We're level on points but behind on goal difference, and this is going to take a big swing to win it. So let's go and see who we've both got on the last day of the season. We're facing away from home. We're going to Chester, who are 7th and trying to hang on to the playoffs, where again Chesterfield have got a mid-table side, Hartlepool who can't move position at all. So let's see what the media said about that one. We lose top spot on some Muir unfit, but we'll just be back in 5 days' time for the title decider against Chester. Well, here's the big game. Chesterfield top on 94 points. We're second on 94 as well. 4 behind on goal difference, and we've both got away games to finish the season. So let's get into the final day of the National League campaign and see if we can nick the title. We're away to a Chester side that are heavy favourites remarkably. We beat them in the return fixture earlier in the season. They're in 7th. They've got to get a point to hang on to the playoffs, and we could end up playing them later down the line as well. We're guaranteed second, so we will skip straight through to the semi-finals. But we don't even want to think about that at the moment. We're going all out to win the title. So let's have a look at the lineup and make our decisions together. I don't think I can make any changes. We were solid. We looked like we could win the game. Unfortunately, it just wasn't to be at the end. We're going to go for the same 11, I think. Zamura's tired, but he has to play. Lomas in poor form. In fact, I'm going to take him out. Humphreys replaced by Harbottle. I'll live and die by that decision. Broom's on the bench, I think. We bring him in instead of Lomas. Or do we leave Lomas on there for now, just in case it does go disastrously wrong? In fact, I'm going to leave Lomas on the bench, but that's the only change to the squad today. So the 11 is exactly the same, but Harbottle coming in for Lomas and Humphrey switching over to the other centre-half position. So let's get into it. It's the big day, of course. No one wants to hear us talk about it. Let's get into it and see what happens. Can we win the National League title? So they've got Tom Nichols up front. He's a really good player. Is that Will Buckley on the left? It is. They've got a really good side. I can see why they're up there, and it makes me all the more proud that we're competing with these. So let's see what Nick Haycock's recommending. Encourage them to make sure they do their best. The recent form asks us to raise our game. If we perform to our best, we can deny them. So let's go and say that. Come on, lads, we've got a chance of winning the title, and we'll get back into the first half of the game and see if we can do something special. We actually did a pre-match team meeting with them. It always goes wrong when you're competing for a title, but on this occasion they actually responded positively. As we said, we didn't even expect to be up here. His form with a free kick in the right back area. Long ball forward towards the target man Presley. Back to Lopez, and he's trying to find an opening, but in the end has to go back to Ethan Vaughan. Brings it forward on a post to Smith. The playmaker with a through ball. He's put Presley in. Please finish this one. Past the keeper and saved. He can't beat him, and we've been so toothless in recent weeks. A clear-cut chance goes begging again. Not the first episode we've said that in this year. Humphreys with a good tackle on halfway as Chesterfield still 0-0, and we'll keep a close eye on that result as well as ours, as we hope they fall to defeat. It's Clark on the left-back position at Hardcastle. First attack of the match for Chester. Miller's out there and he's got no pressure on him at all. In the end, he goes back to the left-back Clark. He's got time on the halfway line. Long ball forward, which is headed away, and Lopez can spring a counter from the right. Can he get someone in behind? Presley's chasing. It's a foot race with a centre-half. Beats him and hits the crossbar. The flag's up for offside, but we weren't to know. And another great chance goes missing. Let's see what the score is. Chesterfield are winning, and it says 0-0 at the bottom there, but there are 97 points and the goals conceded. So they are 1-0 up, and we're going to go positive. We've been playing really well, but we've not created much. And when we have, we've not been able to take the chances. And now Chester are coming forward on the right. James Nicks hit the new loan signing though. Long downfield towards Whittaker, and we need a moment of inspiration from our skipper there. So if Chesterfield do concede, we're on top. Stanley in. It's a flying tackle from Zamura. Gets nowhere near the ball though. Stanley shoots, hits the post, then the keeper. I thought that was going to bobble off his head and back in. Vaughan hacks away. It's out for a throw-in. We've got a warning to start closing people down. 10 to the break. It's still 0-0, and Chesterfield now 2 up. I think unfortunately we're going to end up losing it. Well, 1 minute of stoppage time, we're into it now. Chester go long downfield towards Harbottle, heads away but only as far as the midfielder Bird, and Chester can build yet another attack. Stanley on the right hand side. The one big concern for me here is we're going into the playoffs in poor form, and they've put one just wide. Again, we've been a bit lucky. 10 shots Chester have had, although most are from distance. And if we go into the playoffs and a run without wins, it's going to be difficult for us to pick up our form. So we're going to tell the lads they can do it, we're going to keep encouraging them. That free kick's tipped over brilliantly from Ramsbottom. And another warning sign at the start of the second half. It's just not going to be our day, I'm afraid. After such a good effort and being top for so long, we've just thrown it away at the end. And that overhit cross from Chester's out for a goal kick. But at this point, it makes very little difference. We need a massive favour from Hartlepool and then to win the game ourselves. But they've got nothing to play for and now they've got a player off injured. So I can't see them coming back into it. I think unfortunately it is going to be the playoffs for the season. Well, 25 minutes to go. I'm just going to go very attacking. We'll see out this throw from Zamura. Long ball in, no one's there. Sears heads away to Bird. Really poor attacking play that. We didn't even challenge for the ball. And now Stanley's coming forward unopposed on the right. And it's getting a little bit too easy. Maybe we've just run out of steam. We've got a few players who are looking jaded. We've had warnings about sending a couple on holiday. But how can I do that ahead of the playoffs? Is Smith coming forward in midfield? Over the top to Whittaker. Can we have a moment of magic? Again, it's saved behind for a corner. How many chances are these two going to miss? They've been so good all season, but it's all going wrong now. And we'll bring Georgie on the left of midfield, as Owen James has had a really poor game. Nearly took the wrong man off, got to keep focused. He's going to go to a winger on support. Honda Mark's had a poor game again. Gallagher on for him. Ball winner on support, because we've struggled to keep possession in this one. And we'll save the last sub for 5 more minutes. Maybe Cameron Archer can be the hero off the bench. Well, 15 to go, there's nothing happening. Whittaker replaced by Archer. What a time for both strikers to find a goal drought. Now 3 without scoring for Whittaker. Presley's only scored 1 in about 10 games. And Hardcastle's got the ball on the right for Chester. That's an awful ball though. Savage at centre half. Manages to recover it before Presley nicks in. Probably didn't matter. He wouldn't have scored if he'd gone 1-on-1. Hasn't done so for so long. And now Archer, the substitute, picks it up. He finds Presley in behind. He misses another 1-on-1. Wide at a post. It was such an easy chance. But he snatched at it first time, and unfortunately that's just about it. Chesterfield still 2-0 up. They've certainly won the title. Georgie hits the post again. It is not our day, is it? Chesterfield, congratulations, pip us by 2 points, and we're now going to have to prepare for Aldershot in the playoffs. We'll play the 5th place side unless they lose in their playoff. They've got to play the quarterfinals first. As it's Smith out of Humphreys, another chance to win it, but even now it's not going to be enough. Even if we go 1-0 up, we'll still be behind on goal difference, and Chester are still looking pretty threatening, so I don't think we're going to nick it as we come into 4 minutes of stoppage time, and I'm starting to sound a little bit deflated. Vaughan with a long ball forward to Presley, flicks it on to Cameron Archer, he's in 1-on-1 and he's missed as well. 4 clear-cut chances gone missing, and he's out for a corner. We just cannot score. 3 0-0 draws to finish the season. What a time to run out of goals. We've been scoring goals galore all season and it's all dried up now, and I don't know what we can do as Lopez gets in, but unfortunately he's adjudged to be offside. At such a deflating, disappointing end to the season. We were in control for the most part of the year, but today we lose out. We can sympathise with the lads, but I've no idea how we get this form back for next week. We're going to have a playoff game in around 7 or 8 days time, and we're not going to be able to compete for it. Of course the sides below us have got to play in midweek. They'll have the quarter final and they'll be knackered, but I don't know how we recover when we're not scoring goals. It's the first time probably in this career that we've gone 3 games in a row without scoring. So there we go, disappointment. The playoff semi-finals on my birthday, the 7th of May, I'm sure that'll be disappointing. What a way that would be to lose out. But the honours are even, we draw 0-0 again. Confirmation that Chesterfield win the Vanarama National League. Chester secure 7th with their point, and Presley's got another goal drought just after ending the last one. Zamura's unfit, we're going to send him on holiday for a week, as it looks like based on that information, we've got 2 weeks before the next game. But if you did enjoy this episode and seeing us narrowly miss out, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Again, apologies for 2 really boring games on camera. 2 0-0 draws, who would have thought it? We've been scoring goals galore for almost 2 seasons, and it all dries up when we need it most. But of course we'll no longer have our season review in 2 days time. The one we discussed earlier will have to be put back, because we're going to be back for the playoff semi-final, and I'll only show you the 1 game, so even if we don't get through it won't make any spoilers. I don't want it to look like a double header, so you can tell we've got to the final. So if we do or don't, it will just be the semi-final in the next episode, and then the final 2 days later should we get there. But if you enjoyed the video, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments what I can do in front of goal. I've not changed anything and we're still creating as many chances, but now we suddenly started missing them all again. It's almost like we're back to the early stages of the beta. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content from my 2 long-term stories. We'll be back with the head coach tomorrow as we start season 2. A massive thank you to everyone that supported that series. And then we'll be back in 2 days' time with this Dorking Wanderers save as we start our playoff campaign, hoping we can still achieve the miracle. Fingers crossed we'll find a way to score by then. Hopefully you'll come and join me to find out. And finally, I'm also part of a football podcast that does matchday vlogs and interviews. So there's a link to our latest matchday vlog in the eye above from an FA Cup game a couple of weeks ago. And then we're also available over on Spotify too. We've interviewed people like former Premier League referee Bobby Madley, as well as Tranmere chairman Mark Palios, who of course was also former FA chief executive. But a massive thanks for watching this one and following my disappointment today. Of course, it's still been a remarkable season, but we're still going to be naturally deflated. But I hope we can pick ourselves up in 2 days' time and you'll join me for the National League playoff semi-final.